right. So today's segment is about eggs, but also I have my dear friend, childhood friend, Xin Hui, here with me. Yay! So
Hi.
here is a very successful marketing consultant for a lot of the food and drinks out there. You may have seen the product, but you don't know the story behind it, right? So she is the woman behind all these interesting food products. And at the same time, my dear friend is a yoga teacher, so maybe she'll show us some moves. I'm going to ask her some questions about yoga as
Be
well.
careful what you ask for. Okay.
And so a little bit about 5+5. It's a night show where two experts will ask each other 5 questions, and it could be about their profession, their passion, and their lifestyle. And at the same time, we're going to cook something. And because this show is live, you will be able to see that there is no hiding of, pre-prepared, food item like a lot of cook shows. It is there, and if we fail, too bad. But I'm very sure tonight we'll be very successful with our interesting egg dish. Theme is eggs, right? You got your eggs there, right?
I do actually. Very much. I have my eggs with me.
Okay, and I am going to make a chawanmushi. I just thought, since I'm drinking tea, I bring out my teacups and then I'll do a chawanmushi for everyone to see.
Nice and TikTok. Do you understand TikTok, Bibi?
No, I have an account with TikTok, and I look at my content and I look at everybody else's content. I think it feels like I'm on the wrong page,
Okay, I don't know what you're looking at, but actually, if you are a food lover, which I know you are, TikTok actually has a huge food community. In fact, this whole stay-home time has helped a lot of people dig up some of these like old recipes and try them out, or recipes that are time-consuming and try them out, or recipes that are for the amateurs like home cooks and try them out. So I'm sure you guys have heard like Dalgona coffee got viral recently. So everyone was doing their own like coffee shakes and stuff like that. So today what I'm trying to do with the eggs that I have here is I'm going to do cloud eggs. Some people call it nest eggs. So it's really cute. It's like you're going to fluff the egg whites like a meringue, and then you're going to plop the egg yolk, and then you're going to bake it. And there's a bit of cheese. Actually, all you need is the egg, salt, cheese, and a lot of power, because I'm going to hand whip the eggs. So that's part of the fun. That's what I'm going to be doing today, cloud eggs, which is super Instagrammable, social media friendly, because in the end product, if I do it right, is that it turns out to look like a fluffy cloud of egg white with the egg yolk right in the center, and it's delicious.
Wow. Okay.
Wow, I just sold my food. What about you? Are you going to sell your chawanmushi?
I'm making a very traditional chawanmushi, and the way I like my chawanmushi is that it doesn't have too many ingredients in there. I mean, it looks like there's a lot of ingredients, but they are mostly vegetarian. Because I think in the past when I made this dish and I put chicken in there, and it came out a little bit undercooked. So, now I never ever add chicken into my chawanmushi.
Okay.
But today you'll see the very traditional way of making it. And I will also be telling people how to make this dashi. Because it's so easy to make, but people still go to the store and buy the powder and just add water. But it's really easy to make.
Really? You're going to make your own dashi stock? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I already made it in advance because it has to cool down before you add it into the egg mixture, or else it will cook the eggs and you won't be able to steam it, like a smooth, silky chawanmushi.
Okay. Well, cool. Okay, since we're talking about eggs, here's my question to you.
Okay.
Bibi, a lot of you are tuning in. You would already know Bibi is the principal dietitian at a very well-known hospital group here in Singapore. And I'm sure whenever people meet you, they ask you questions like, hey, can you give me free advice? How do I lose weight? How do I blah, blah, blah? So I'm going to ask you an egg-related question. Because I love eggs and I eat a lot of eggs. And you hear from people like they say, oh, eat eggs like, I don't know, limited to once a week. Some say limited to once a day. Some say you can eat 10 egg whites, all the egg whites you want, just no egg yolks. Some are the opposite. They crack a fresh egg yolk into, I don't know, Guinness stout or something, and then they down it. So what exactly is the best amount of egg consumption? I truly want to know. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's a very good question because, if you go and find out which of the countries have the highest egg consumption per capita, you will see that actually Singaporeans rank, I think, number 2 or 3. Like, we do eat a lot of eggs. And eggs can be in a form of, for breakfast, soft boiled. It could be inside your mee rebus, mee siam. It could be on top of your fried rice. It could be everywhere. So we are quite a egg eating nation. And so I get this question very often as well, whether, how many eggs can I eat? And in the past, we used to tell people you can't have more than, 4 egg yolks a week. But more and more studies are saying that you can have 1 egg yolk a week, 1 egg yolk a day, which means 7 eggs a week, if the rest of your diet is healthy. So what do I mean by the rest of your diet is healthy is that, you eat, yes, you do eat meat, but you eat lean meat, so your saturated fat intake is a bit lower. And you don't, basically have a healthy diet, and you can have up to 1 egg a day or 7 eggs a week, and that includes eating the yolk. And the other question you mentioned, can I just eat a lot of egg whites? Frankly, you can, and you can replace your protein intake with just egg white if you prefer. But you will also be wasting the yolk, but we can't eat 10 egg yolks, right?
You can set it aside. Okay, I would say one thing to start is already a very, very big, awesome first step. And then there's so many wonderful studios available. There's a lot of, these days especially, there's a lot of online resources available. But I would say, maybe I'm biased, but that's how I started. I had to drag myself actually to a yoga studio against my wishes, because I never thought much of yoga. I always thought it was something for when I get old, or it's something for when I get injured, which is what happened to me, or it's something for when I want to relax, But when I signed on for my first yoga session, it was because I had a knee injury, and the doctor said, can you please do low impact stuff? Your choices are swimming and yoga. So I said, okay, I'm just going to do both. So I signed up for yoga. I committed to it. So I committed to 10 sessions of yoga. So it's another thing to do is to commit yourself. So once you pay for 10 sessions, you just, even if you didn't enjoy the first couple of sessions, you're going to soldier on, which is what I did. And by the end of 10 sessions, I was sold. Yeah. And back to the mobility thing, that's my challenge to you. My next one is not a question, it's a challenge. Are you going to be cracking any egg yolks today?
I am.
Okay. So here's my challenge. I want you to, guys, if you guys are watching this, right, you should try it as well. You don't actually need to crack an egg yolk. You just basically need a dish. Okay, so I'm going to crack a egg into a dish, right? And ideally, you're supposed to fill it with water. So why don't I challenge you to do that, Bibi?
I can crack an egg in there and see how I go.
Okay, cool. Crack an egg in there. I'm cracking it too, but I'm removing my egg yolk from my egg white, okay? Because that's what I need for mine. So if you are at home, you want to play along, you go get a cup or a dish and you fill it with a bit of water. Not to the brim, just a little bit. So what I've done also, you won't make a big mess, okay? Just water is fine. At the most, you get a little bit wet.
Ooh.
Okay, well, Bibi, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
If you're watching this, you must know, okay? We have never rehearsed this. So Bibi has zero prior knowledge that I'm going to make her do this.
Zero flexibility, mobility.
Yeah. So what I've done, I separated my egg yolk and my egg white. Okay, have you cracked your egg into your dish?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Try and get yourself, give yourself some space, okay? Space. Okay, now, all you gotta do is, this is gonna help you think whether you want to sign on for yoga or not. My dish is full of egg white, by the way, so I don't want to spill it, okay? And if you guys are trying this out, you're also holding something, you don't want to spill it. So you hold it under your hand. If you want to cheat a bit, I'm not gonna laugh at you. You can cut the bowl a little bit, okay? That's just cheating. Slowly, you're gonna start to lay out the palm flat, because this is not about the palm, it's about the shoulder, okay? And also the side body. So what you're gonna do? You're gonna do kung fu style. Okay, you're gonna bring this dish in towards you like you want to eat it, and then you're gonna turn and rotate your wrist. Rotate, rotate, rotate. This part gets fun and difficult. Once you rotate, try not to spill the water. See if you can rotate all the way. Bibi Chia, can you do it?
No. Oh, okay.
You can feel free to turn your body. So your body wants to turn, let it turn. And then once it's here, what you want to do, you want to bring it over the head, but never spilling the egg yolk or the egg white. And once you bring it over the head, I like that you're using your visual as a guide. You're looking at the plate so it doesn't spill. And then once you bring it all the way, you sort of serve it to me this way. Did you spill?
No, but nearly.
Yeah, so that is already a mobility check. And actually, it doesn't end there. You're going to try to reverse it. So now you bring it all the way up again, up. Actually, if you have a very flexible wrist,
on my head.
it also helps that you have a
Sorry.
So once you twist it all the way, you're going to bring it back very slowly, okay? And then you bring it back to where you first started. Oh, I may or may not have spilled a little bit. Yay!
Yay!
You plunk it down. Give yourself a round of applause. You did it. That was my second question was, can you do this actually? So if you have my egg white and my egg yolk separated, and I'm going to whisk it. So back to you now. You still got a question for me, or you want to talk me through what else you're doing?
Okay, I'm just going to scramble this one egg, and later on I am going to add in half a cup of dashi into this mixture. Okay, so a little bit about dashi is that it's so easy to make, and but a lot of people prefer to just buy the granules from the store and just add water. But this is really easy to make. So it's made of these seaweed, and they are meant. You can use this to make salads, but I only use that to make salad after I'm done with making the soup stock. Then you can reserve the leftover kombu or the seaweed and slice it up and make it into a salad with vinegar, olive oil, or slices of the firm tofu, slice of mushroom, etc. And you can make that.
Okay.
Yeah. Now the trick when it comes to making this is that you don't really boil this. So you might soak it in the water and then using a very low heat, just slowly bringing it up to a boil. And before it boils, so you start to see it boiling, that's when you turn off the fire. So you do not actually roll or boil the kombu.
Okay.
Then after you remove it, you have a konbu dashi. But if you want to also add a little bit more umami or flavor in there, you can buy something like this. It is it's dried fish that's being sliced very thinly, and then you can boil that in the stock and strain it, and then you have a stock like that. So
straight away buy. Is there a button I can click to buy? Okay, you're not there yet, right?
I can cook it for you. So it's very easy to make, and I will put the recipe on Foodtail so that people who want to make their own soup stock that is easy, doesn't require cutting up meat and bone or whatever. This is a
cool
stock. Yeah. To play safe, if this is the first time you're making chawanmushi, is instead of making it too watery, which is the perfect texture, is to make it less watery at the beginning so that it will firm up if you are making it. And that will be one egg. To every egg you add in there will be half a cup of dashi.
Okay.
Half a cup of dashi that will make two cups like that. And if you want to make more, then you can add 2 eggs and 1 entire cup of dashi.
Beating egg whites is really fun because right, if you just egg white with a bit of salt and you consistently beat it and whip it good, it's gonna turn into this white foam, like proper foam. I think there's a test where you can hold it above your head, and if it doesn't slide, you're good. So
we're gonna hold more things over our head today.
challenge, yeah. But anyways, that's what I'm doing now. Okay, so Bibi, photograph of my poop and get it analyzed.
Please don't give people suggestions, okay? People who are watching, is going to send me on Messenger the poop. Please no.
Yeah, please. Okay, next question. We got that out of the way now. If you're only just tuned in, I just asked Bibi the $1 million difficult question, which is she part of poop advisory? And her answer is yes. So she's actually certified to give you advice on good, healthy poop. Okay, now we're never going to talk about poop ever again while we are doing this cooking stuff. Okay, next question. Really think about. If you ask someone like 10 years ago about personal branding, about putting themselves out there on the digital space, they might not have a clue yet where they are standing on that. These days it's more of a question of how and not whether or not you're going to do it already, right? So one tip that I will tell people who are looking to, you say entrepreneurs looking to start a brand. So I would like to I would actually sit down, ascertain with them what sort of their social strategy is, because a lot of stuff is done on social media these days, on the digital space, and that's what my job is. My job is I like to joke about my job as a social media nanny. So I am your nanny. I come in and I take care of your brand. I don't own it. I just take care of it. I take it for walks. I keep it fed. I keep it active, and then I return it to you when you think the time is right, or I do more with it. But it's important to ascertain this thing that you're nannying. Is it like a newborn baby? Is it a new brand? So if you're giving birth to a new brand, I try my best to be like a good midwife to your brand. And so we have to ask ourselves some very important questions, like how social do you want to be, right? And what is the reason for even getting in the social media space? Of course, the big reason at the end you're going to tell me is sales. Like, oh, I'm looking to sell something. That's why I'm here. Trying to be on social media space. But the social media audience has evolved so much. They are now so clever. They know exactly when you're trying to oversell something, right?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if you guys are listening in right now, you guys would already have tuned off if this was all about like, okay, click and buy, click and buy, click and buy. It's just too obvious. So then my big advice is to tell them, like, really make sure you have a social media reason for being. That means you want to exist on a social media space because you truly understand what is about to be social. Okay, so that's one. Truly be social. Second one is, I would say, be authentic. I know you guys hear it a lot until it's tiring already, but I truly stand by that. Be very honest about who you are. Be authentic. If you are here to just make a sale and get out and not care for your audience, if you're honest about that, maybe that works too. Just like, then just go for promotions, buy one get one free. People appreciate that. But if you are so be authentic about who you are, your brand voice, your brand story. Don't tell lies. Don't tell people you had a humble background or something just to get sympathy votes, just to get people to come to you and buy your product and share your story, but it's not real. So there's the authenticity. So I would say be authentic. And then thirdly, I would say be useful. So sometimes I see products, like I'm like, it's such a useless product. Like, sometimes, of course, yeah. So that's what my advice would be for people who come to me and they say, hey, what can I do to get on the social media space, and how can I promote my personal brand? So we try to ascertain some of these stuff, and that's just the surface of the relationship that we will start to have, and then it gets deeper. It gets more operational. Like, okay, so now that we have established how authentic you are, how your sort of your brand image, brand voice, then we can go into the nitty gritties, like how often are you going to be talking to your audience? Do you reply your audience, and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's my advice. My dream job is to not have a job. So like if I come in and I help you and it gets to the point where content creates itself, like maybe people like your brand so much, they're starting to talk about your brand. They're helping you to take photos of your brand and telling their friends about it. Then I think it's a job well done on my part. I just I just lightened my workload. I don't have to be the one creating that share of voice in the market, right? So that's one thing, which is great. Do it yourself. You're no better served than by yourself, and you yourself know your brand the best, and you might just be the best spokesperson for yourself. It's one of those things that leveled the playing field for marketing professionals the day it was launched, and everyone has ever since then had to be learning on the job. So I'm never afraid to tell my client, like, I don't know this, but I'm going to find out for you. So you got to have that sense of curiosity, that sense of humility that you don't know everything. Then you'll be very good at it, because then you will know when to put in the right people, when to activate the right mix. Some things you can do yourself. Roll your sleeves up and do your own Instagramming. Go and do your own Facebook posts, you know. But thanks for that. Those are very, very like fun, interesting questions. And while you're saying this, look at my egg white. It's so nice.
Okay, wow, yeah, it's very well.
It's turned into a fluff, you guys. Okay, so it's my turn to ask Bibi Chia questions, okay? So Bibi, as you know, I am a copywriter, which means your thing, it sounds quite glamorous, right? But actually what we do is we sit down and we think. Sometimes all we do is write captions. So some of your best captions that you see on social media written by copywriters, obviously, right? Some of the best captions on ads. So since we are on the topic of eggs today, can you give me your best egg puns? Puns, like play on the word.
Okay.
I've run out of it.
Excellent.
Yes.
Extra special.
Extra special. Okay, I get it.
Extravagant.
I like it.
Exceptional. Did I do that? Did I say that already?
No. You said excellent, exceptional. No. You just said exceptional.
Exceptional.
You said extraordinary, I think.
Yeah, extra special. Please continue for me. You're the copywriter.
That's what I do. I steal ideas. I make people do my work. Bibi just wrote a few captions for me. Thank you very much. No, but I can't think. I mean, there should be a lot more, right? Like, we don't even have to pun on just the word egg. It can be the word yolk.
Wow.
Yeah, should make it a two-part question. Okay, so this is my second part question to you, since we're on the topic of like caption writing. Tell me about Food Tales, man, and what is like your brand mission?
Oh wow.
So I know that whether I can sell you my services. I'll be like, oh man, you need help, man. I'm gonna help you with yeah.
I think I think one of the reasons why I developed Food Tales is that I believe that everyone has something to say about nutrition. And that's what I noticed. Even when patients come into my clinic, they will even want to teach me a little bit about nutrition, right? So, and telling me something about food, you know. And so I am also learning from my patients sometimes. Or maybe, you know, as simple as, you know, have you ever tried convincing, you know, your own parents to do something that you know best, right? And then they'll be like, oh, they'll turn around and teach you, right?
Yep.
Food Tales is about, you know, sharing stories. But today, you know, both of us are food lovers. You know, we're good friends. But I think it's also interesting to share our expertise in different areas, but also then come together because of food. And Tales is a good place for people who, you know, want to know more about nutrition, but not, you know, in a way where it's like a webinar or
Is that why you call it Food Tales? Because ideally people will come here and sort of learn a story or two about some of the food that you are showcasing.
Yeah, that's like it's listening to stories and learning through stories.
What have you showcased so far in your Food Tales?
I have made mochi or mochi, and that is with a friend in Japan, Rebecca. and she made her version and I made mine. And then I have also, interviewed a dear friend. His name is Sengi. He is the founder of Sing, which is the organic farm and the organic produces that you see a lot in our local supermarkets.
Right.
And so just sharing stories and learning a little bit about,
before you all say, I want to show everyone how awesome my egg white is. If you pull it up, and then you can get this.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, win already, okay? So you must whip it until you get this stiff peak. Looks like that. It's boom, it's a foam. And that helps when you have a friend to talk to. Now preheat the oven. And then you're just going to add a bit of grated cheese in. Just a bit. And then you don't deflate it. You just add it in and you just sort of fold everything together. Everything should come together a little bit like hair mousse, that kind of texture. And yeah, so I don't know how you are, because we've been talking.
The eggs inside my steamer or my Philips multi-cooker. I'm gonna. Yeah, I love this.
Bibi has all the coolest toys, all the kitchen toys, I tell you.
Yeah. Okay. And so I'm gonna just steam it on high for 3 minutes, and then I'm gonna steam it on low for 15 minutes. The reason is that if you're gonna steam it on low, you can for half an hour, and then it will turn out right. But because time is sensitive on a live show, so I decided to just bump up the heat and steam it at high for 3 minutes before putting it on low for 15. And the purpose is that you don't want to cook this delicate steamed egg in too high a temperature, because what you're going to get essentially is a steamed egg with bubbles inside, and it doesn't have that silky soft.
Yeah. It must be no bubbles. For me, that's like a mark of a good chawanmushi.
Yes. And one of the tricks of making a good no bubble chawanmushi is, I know it sounds crazy, but you have to strain your egg mixture, no matter how well you mix it, before pouring it into the little cups. And
okay, so while you're doing that, what I'm doing is I'm sort of very gently now spooning my egg whites. They're so fluffy already, onto like a cooking paper. I preheat the oven. You're going to get a nice treat because I'm thinking of adding the one yolk only to the 2 egg whites. So it's going to be a huge cloud and a little yolk in the middle. And then you make a little...
Yes, that's a good idea, right? I mean, if you want to make something that's theatrical and Instagrammable, it has to look
correct
what you're trying to tell people.
Correct. Then you make a little indentation, like a little hole, and then you just bake it for 3 minutes. After 3 minutes, you add the yolk in, you bake it again for 3 minutes.
Okay,
and
so
pretty much that's it.
Hey, what are you using?
We are glove buddies.
So those of you who are watching, please follow Food Tales, and every week we're giving out these really cool
You gotta do it like the people who do makeup. They have to show like that. And then they show it. Guys, so, I just modeled hand mittens.
For people who are clumsy like me and often get burnt, the back of the head and the below the wrist, this is really good. It's like a full sleeve, and it's got the silicone.
I want to show you also what this looks like. Like that now.
Oh yeah, I can see. Okay, you're gonna put it in the oven now?
I'm gonna put it in the oven. You keep talking.
So just now, I think I've skipped one step while we were talking, is that I have flavored the egg mixture with a little bit of mirin and a little bit of shoyu. And I'm only using half a teaspoon each. And in this dashi, there is no added salt. I prefer to make my stock without any salt, and then I can decide later when I'm cooking how much flavor I want to add or how much salt I want to add in there. Because by the time you add salt in here and then you notice the recipe calls for soy sauce, then the taste would be a little bit too salty. So just keep it quite low sodium. Okay, it's good for your heart as well. Okay, pop question for you, Joe. Okay, this is not part of the 5 questions, but guess.
Ask me anything.
Can we have in a day?
Say that again. I didn't hear you.
How much salt can we have in a day? So people who are watching, you can please answer as well. Yeah. Wow, I can see.
Okay. So are you looking for grams? Like how many pinch of salt?
Yeah,
a day?
grams, a teaspoon or
Can I tell you what
tablespoon.
I think is the right answer, but what I also consume as the wrong answer? I think the right answer is like 10 grams, but I probably take like 25 grams.
Wow, you have a very salty diet.
I'm one of
Okay,
those
so the answer for how much salt we should, limit to
consume.
is
Yeah.
1 teaspoon a day. So 1 teaspoon is not a lot; it's 5 grams, and very often we do exceed our sodium intake. And the
Mm.
thing about salt is this: it's like sugar. The moment you start cutting back, you will
Mm.
notice that you may not like a salty food as much as before, or it's like cutting back on sugar. You may notice that your taste buds prefer things that are not as sweet. So people who have high blood pressure and trying to reduce the amount of sodium they take could gradually reduce that. And you may be able to taste your food even better after that.
Can I throw this back to you? Over to you, Bibi. What about you? What is something that this experience has taught you?
Hmm. I think more than ever, people have become uh, more health conscious,
Mm-hmm.
and that I see it. I try to see it more positively. Say, people are concerned about their health. They want to eat better, and I know with the circuit breaker, people don't leave their house as much, but from lifestyle histories that I take from patients, a lot of people have decided to do more exercise because they have more time away from work to do exercise. And
Yes.
despite not being able to, get hold of all the ingredients you want through, all the online
Yeah.
forms, people are cooking more often at home, and they
Yes.
are doing healthy food. And so I find that really inspiring. I look at Instagram, and I can see a lot of people are cooking, and everyone's cooking skills is getting better. So nice to just watch. And
That's why we're doing this, right? So I can show off some of the skills I've learned as well.
I hope my Chawanmushi is okay. I'm just worried that because this is a live show, and if I take it out and it looks bad, ooh. But I have tried
You'll
and
be
tested
fine.
the recipe many times, so I doubt it would fail. The tip that I would give anybody who's trying to make a chawanmushi for the first time is do
Mm-hmm.
not dilute the eggs too much. You might want
Right.
to mix first and then add a little bit more dashi as you go to get that perfect silky soft texture. But in general, 1 egg to half a cup of dashi, or 1 egg to half a cup of liquid
I
egg.
am. Can I just show you guys? I'm so proud of it. Look at it.
Oh, it's so cool!
So this is how it looks like. It's nice and fluffy. And then, ta-da!
Nice.
So then when you do serve it, yeah.
Oh, cool.
And all you gotta do is like sprinkle some pepper and you're done. And if you think about it, it's only like 1 or 2 eggs maximum that you use. And you can achieve this already. And beats like when you try to make an omelette and you crack 3 eggs instead. So this is like nice and not consuming, not over consuming.
I think this is a good recipe to make with children, right? To
Yes.
show them how to whisk, and but I'm very
You
worried.
are spot on. So actually, before TikTok sort of brought this back, TikTok and Instagram brought this back as a recipe. This was already first seen in a French children's cookbook. So in other words, the French kids, when they're learning to cook, this is one of the first dishes they make. So there's a French name to it, which I don't even know what it is, but I guess it means nest eggs or cloud eggs. And the kids learn to whisk. They learn to separate the egg yolk and the egg white. They also learn to time how long it will take for the egg to get cooked, and also know the importance of maybe cooking and semi-cooking your egg yolks before you consume them. So all of that in one little dish, which is like so fun, and it's such a cute side dish accompaniment. If you want to impress people, you want to please your other half, impress them, make this, and then serve it with a side of like a salad or some tomatoes that you just put in like balsamic vinaigrette. It's all good to go. Wow, what about you? Yours looks amazing. I'm coming to take a closer look.
Yeah, the Chawanmushi, I mean, it's so easy to make, and all children, no, I would say all children, but a lot of children love to eat, steamed eggs, and it's it's high in nutrition, and you get to choose what you want to put in there, but I use very boring ingredients or maybe very traditional ingredients. I can see your eggs.
Me just making sure I don't lose out. So I make sure I show everyone my out egg.
Okay, so it is well set, but you can see, I would prefer to use a little bit more liquid to make it even softer or more silky. But this is good enough. This recipe is tried and tested. It works. And we're going to put it on for tails. So if you'd like to know how to make it, please hop on to Food Tales.
Yay!
Yay! I want to eat